Hey guys, and welcome back to an episode of Out of the Box. Today should be an interesting one.
Today is going to be all about a topic that everyone is just really interested in, and it's honestly one of the biggest questions that we get a lot, the most common. And so it's simply, how did May come out to me and our family and friends, and when did you know you were gay?
So that's a big topic and a lot to cover. I also just haven't talked about it a lot, so I understand why it can be the number one thing we get asked. So where do I even start?
It's you.
So where do I even start?
Let's start out on when did you know you were gay?
Okay. So, you know how everyone is like, when you know, you know?
No, because I don't know.
Well, okay, so for those of you who are in the queer community, like, you know when you know, I knew when I was really, really young. Like, I don't think there was an actual time I even liked guys. And it's weird because I know a lot of people don't find out until later, but, like, when you grow up with someone, especially a twin, you kind of go through the same things. Like, we hit those specific, what do you call them? Like, milestones. Yeah. Like, you started to have crushes, you started to like guys, and I just, like, never hit that milestone. And at first I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, I should, right? But then I knew, I was like, no, but I don't like guys in that way, because I understood, like, there's certain feelings you should feel towards someone, and I just never had those feelings. So, like, when you would talk about your crushes, or, like, when you got your first boyfriend, I was just like, okay, like, what's so special about it? Until I had my first crush, and it was on a girl. And I was just like, now I understand. Whatever. But I was super young. I'm pretty sure G was the first person I ever, like, threw out the idea that I was gay. Do you remember those conversations in the car?
No.
Like, when I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm gay, like, I'm...
No, because I don't think we talked about it with our we didn't talk to each other with, like, mom and dad in the car. Like,
no.
So, like, I don't remember you talking about that, but I do remember, like, a time when I was just like, okay, so, like, if you like girls, then how is your relationship, like, how do you feel towards, like, our close best friends, Like,
oh, yeah, that was another thing.
I was confused on how you were mixing that together, like, is it weird that I'm here and you like our, like, girlfriends, or is it, like, no, you're separating from your friends versus your crushing?
Yeah, see, that's another thing that, like, happens to a lot of people, is when you come out, like, a lot of people assume that, like, you like every girl or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you fell into that category a little bit, but no.
No, it wasn't every girl. It was our best friend.
Who?
Taylor. And
I didn't have a crush on her.
Really? Because I thought you did. You really, like... Or it was just the fact that we were all really good friends.
I'm pretty sure it was more like that. Taylor wasn't ever my, like, type.
Oh. Because, like, I just thought, I was like, oh, this is weird. Like, we're getting really close as friends, so that's why I felt weird. But, like, I didn't know if it was because you had a crush on her, or if it was just because we were really good friends.
I'm pretty sure I had a crush on her sister.
Okay.
Haley.
Okay.
I really hope they don't see this, but, like, I'm pretty sure in, like, elementary school and stuff, I think I was more attracted to Haley. I didn't know what it was at the time.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, you're really pretty. Like, nothing like anything else weirder than that. But I think that was my first, like, oh. Okay.
So then let's move on to, like, so you knew early on. What was the first...
when I was, like, a young. Not to mention, I grew up as a tomboy, and I hate, like, when you should stereotype people.
Yeah.
I don't know really how to say it other than, like, you should never stereotype someone, but if you saw what I was wearing when I was younger, I was all in plaid. I was in, like, tuxes and suits and all of that.
Yeah. But I don't necessarily think that was, like, stereotypical gay. Like, now we know that is. But, like, back then, that was just your style, and it wasn't known to be associated with queer.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Queer was not a big thing in elementary school for us. Like, it just became a big thing.
That's so true.
So, like, I think we get mixed up, not we, but, like, just people in general get mixed up with, like, your personality, but also your, like, preference in clothing, and then mixing that with, because now I know you're queer or you're part of the LGBTQ plus community, you wear that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not that. It was because you preferred that, and there are different things around that.
Well, also, growing up, you're right, like, we didn't really know the stereotypes.
Yeah.
And you are right. I, like, just wore what I was comfortable in, and it just happened to be more masculine clothing. And I think it was also rough because growing up in a private school my entire life, from kindergarten all the way through college, we've been in a private high school, or just a private Catholic setting, and
we don't talk about
the Catholic community back then, and still a little bit today. You don't get educated on the queer community. You don't really talk about it in school. Like, there's more of us now who go to private school, but it's still not talked about. Like, in high school, I knew that there were queer people in our class, right?
Yeah.
But we never talked about it. The one person I knew who proudly was gay and, like, talked about it was, funny story, was your first boyfriend.
Well, that, but also, like, Emma and, like, those who were blatantly like, I'm gay and I don't care.
But that was, like, 2 people out of 100 something. And just in my class. And it's not even the entire school in general. It
sucks because it is, like, I don't want to say a common thing these days, but like you said, there are more and more students, people, individuals who are feeling more confident to just come out, even, like, in the Catholic setting. Like, no one is going to be like, oh, you can't be that. But I feel like the Catholic school doesn't, like you said, it doesn't teach it. We're not told about, like, individuals who have been gay or any other individuals. Like, I remember our school, I'm not going to say where we went, but, you know, like, there was a gay teacher. Yeah. And she was not allowed to say that she was gay. Or talk about her family because it doesn't go along with our Catholic teachings.
Which I understand to a point. Yeah. But I just think it's also fucked. Like, she has a family. Yeah.
And we all knew it. Her students knew it,
She's an amazing teacher. Everyone loves her. Yeah. And it just sucks that, one, she can't have photos of her family. She can't talk about her family. She can't bring up the topic, you know? Yeah. Unless maybe a student asks her personally. But even then, I don't think she's allowed to actually talk about it. Yeah. Which is just sad because there are tons of queer kids in private Catholic schools, but you don't really get to talk about it. And I was amazed at how many queer people in our class came out after high school.
Well, yeah, like, because you never really saw them in that light. I mean, I guess you don't really talk to them, and, like, that's the first thing you talk about. But, like, it is interesting that, like, a lot of people that we never thought would be part of the queer community are part of the queer community. Yeah. And that has nothing to do with, like, oh, like, they never acted like that in high school. I just don't think, like, they were ready, one, to come out or felt comfortable to come out in a private Catholic school.
And that I was one of those people. Yeah. Like, everyone knew, and I knew, but I just didn't feel comfortable enough to actually talk about it in a private Catholic school until I got to college. Because, yes, I still went to a private Catholic church or a Catholic college, but, you know, when you go to college, it's so much bigger and you have so many more people. Yeah. And it's not as small, so, like, you're not being, like, hovered over as much, or forced to go to church or assemblies or whatever they're called. Yeah. So I was more willing and comfortable to talk about my sexuality, because there were other kids who were talking about it too, and our Catholic college had a queer, like, club.
Yeah.
So, like, we were able to talk about it more on campus. Yes, there was issues with that club on campus, and I'm proud of our school that we did do a walkout and stuff in for the alliance for that club.
Yeah.
And a teacher who was involved in that, or a professor. But going from high school being very closeted and closed off, not really talked about, to a college that's like big as shit with tons of other people.
Yeah.
It just was really eye-opening to see, oh, there are a lot of people actually in this community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, now we're moving on to, like, how did you, like, come out to your family and friends? Because May and I, like, I knew, I was probably, like, Kara and I, at least, were probably, like, the first ones to be,
and
like...
mom and dad, for sure.
Yeah, like, everyone knew but didn't want to assume, and then also, like, it wasn't our position to be like, oh, May's gay. Like, that is a process and step that you, as an individual, have to take on your own and claim that, because, like, if we told you you're gay, we're just putting a name to you. It's not you being yourself and, like, coming in a full growth moment, you know?
Yeah, and I completely agree. I think from my perspective and others similar to me, there's a difference between you knowing you're queer or you're gay or whatever you what is it called? Whatever you identify with, compared to, like, actually saying it out loud.
Yeah.
I think saying it out loud fully confirms it. Even though you could be fully well known that you are without saying it actually concrete solidifies 1000%. And it's scary. Like, I knew for a fact that my family, my friends, my siblings would fully accept me. It's just I went back and forth between, do I really have to say it? Like, I know everyone assumes it, so, like, let's just assume it. Like, it is what it is. But then I realized, like, no. Like, you have to say it.
Yeah.
And I think, like, you are right. It is part of a stepping stool that you need to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I really went back and forth between, they already know. Like, I don't have to say it. They already know it. I don't want to say it. But then I was just like, yeah, no, I'm going to say it. I said it. I told my parents, not at the same time. I'm pretty sure I told my mom first. And it was just casual. She was reading, like, her comics, and she showed me a comic strip about, something gay. I don't really know. And she was like, oh, this is funny. You should read it. And then I was just like, yeah, I'm gay. Like, it just came out. Like, and she was like, she was just happy and proud that I finally was able to say it. Mm-hmm. And
then how did you tell Dad?
She just hugged me. Dad?
Like, was it another casual, like, in the car, like, oh, yeah, Dad, if you didn't know, like, I'm gay?
No, I remember I told Dad in, like, the kitchen. I don't know what provoked it.
Oh.
Like, I genuinely can't remember.
Yeah.
And then he literally was like, oh, cool. And then when
oh, cool.
I was just like, see, like, they're so chill, so relaxed. And I am well aware that, like, we are so lucky that our parents are supportive in anything we want to do and anything we want to be.
Yeah. Because
there's really people out there who aren't supported like that. And it's just eye-opening. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Because we've never experienced that, you know? Mm-hmm. And thank God, because I don't even want to imagine how hard it is, one, to even get to the point where you can say, hey, like, I'm gay.
Yeah.
Or I'm queer, whatever you identify with. And then to have your parents or loved ones just completely dismiss you.
Yeah.
And, like, in some cases, just ask you to leave, like, right then and there. Like, what the fuck do you do?
Yeah. It's such, like, a situation that you can't comment on if you have not gone through it, because it is something that is, no human being should feel like because of their sexuality that they don't belong.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think our family, like you said, like, thank God everyone is very open. And I think that is also because of, like, the generation we're in now. And, like, versus, you know, some of the boomers are still out there believing, like, that's not okay. Like, that's, you're not that. You're just mentally sick.
It's a phase,
or you're a phase, or you'll get through it. But I think right these days, depending on who you're with in your, like, surrounding environments, like, I hope it's a lot more positive than what it has been.
I have to give a lot of credit to, like, our parents, especially, because I don't think they ever were in a, like, we will disown, like, gay people. I don't think that was ever them. But I think they had to grow and learn with the world and the history and the time.
Yeah.
Like, they aren't stuck in their ways, like what their parents taught them, which thankful for. But I don't think they would have had the same reaction if they didn't do their own work and, like, stay with the times and not back in their old days.
Yeah. Okay, so that's how you came out to mom and dad casually, but the way that you came out to your friends.
Oh, wait, I didn't say how I came out to Kara.
Well, you kind of said this with your friends.
I kind of sent
like,
it with
was
the
kind
friends.
of
That's
like
true.
the same essence. And so you told us, well, at least you spoke about it and you came out to everybody when?
I want to say it was once I got to college. So 2020?
Yeah.
2020.
Was it before COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. It feels like it's been years and years, but I don't think it's been that long.
Okay, so 2020, let's say.
Yeah.
You came out. So how did you...
It was before TikTok, so...
Yeah. So how did you come out?
So I started off telling the people closest to me. So obviously my siblings, my parents, my aunt and uncles who I'm close with. But then I was like, I guess it's time to, like, tell my friends, like, even though they know. And you know when you first start telling people, then you get super excited and you get the confidence. And then I couldn't wait because I know it's probably something you should say in person, but I was just too excited, so I just sent out a text. It
wasn't even a text. It was a group message.
To a few, and then single ones.
I was put in a group message with 4 of my other our best friends, and then May sent individual texts. So I got a text message that was just simply...
And I did it in a way that literally represents me.
Yeah, it was definitely May's personality, the way she said it.
I
How
still
did you
remember
say it? It was literally a 2-sentence. Like,
I said, if you already didn't know, I'm gay. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally just that.
That's what she said, and I got this text message, and I was like, no, she did not just say that. Like, of course she did, but, like, come on, you could have said, like, hey, guys, like, thank you for being my best friends. Like, I know you already know this, but I'm doing this for myself. I'm gay. But May just goes, guys, I'm gay. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And then she adds, like, the rainbow flag.
I just get straight to the point.
Yeah. And it was great. It was definitely the way you wanted to tell people, and that's totally fine. I just started laughing because it was one in a group text message. I giggled
to myself, too. Like I say so many times, I'm the funniest person alive.
Yeah.
In my own opinion.
It was a group text, and it was just that sentence combined had me laughing so hard.
So, like, when I was writing it up, I was like, 1, this is so me.
Yeah.
2, I'm giggling to myself, so obviously it's funny.
Yeah.
And 3, it's just, like, straight to the point. I'm not, like, trauma dumping on all of you for the past, like, 18 years of my life of hiding this.
That's
not
true.
even hiding it. It's just not having that courage or space to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Until then.
Yeah.
But I was just like...
And then what actually sent me more was the fact that you copy and pasted that and sent it to all your other friends.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't have... I literally didn't have the brain capacity to, like, write individual paragraphs.
Like, who does that?
I was just like, you can get what everyone else got.
Yeah.
Like, you're not special. Actually, you are special, but you're not that special.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny. So, if it can bring a smile, a laugh to your day.
Sorry, I got a spam call.
Like, if what I say to you can bring a smile or a laugh.
Yeah.
Or just brightens up your day, then, you know, I did my job.
Mm-hmm.
And something with that heavy, I was like, how can I kind of make this funny, but also be serious about it?
Yeah. And those who know, or you told, are the only people that needs to know. Like, I think this is what, like, me and you were talking about before you sent out that text message, which I remember is, like, you came to me and you were like, okay, like, I'm going to come out, but, like, who do I tell? Like, do I tell everyone? And this is more directed towards our extended family.
Yeah.
And I remember just telling you, like, you know, it's your choice at the end of the day. If you want to tell the people that you love and care about, and you know that they do, like, love and don't care about your sexuality, then, like, you need to make a list, and those are the only people that matter. Mm-hmm. And the rest, if you're worried that they'll find out or that they'll judge you, like, they will find out on their own, whether it's through chatter with the family or whether it's through social media. And, like, obviously, like, we went to, like, Pride Festival, like, something like that, like, then that's how they're gonna find out, but you're not obligated to tell them.
Yeah, and I think with that reason, like, I am more closer with one side of the family, and I feel more comfortable saying it to that side of the family. I'm not saying I hate the other side of the family.
Yeah.
It's just, one, I know some of their views are very, very different, and I think they'd accept me, but I also don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want their opinion. I don't want all the extra stuff that comes with it. Like, they can know. But if you're going to say anything to me that's, like, somewhat ignorant
or negative,
racist, homophobic, like, I don't want to have that negative energy in my life. Still love you, whatever, but, like, I'm not going to actually say it to your face so I can, like, put myself in that situation for negativity.
Yeah.
And hey, some of them might be listening to this. Great. Let's try not to be homophobic.
May's gay.
If I hear that, I won't. I feel like part of me would want to confront them, but at the same time, it's not worth it. We've had some family issues that we've tried to bring up that's completely different from this topic.
It's not even about sexuality. And it's just about dynamic.
It just didn't even go well.
Yeah.
It's part of the adoption, too, so if you want to hear that, let us know.
Yeah. That's a good adoption one.
And it didn't go well, so I'm just like,
this isn't going to go well either.
It's who I am. Accept it or not. I don't really give two shits. I don't need your approval.
Yeah. And the only people that know and you've told are the ones that have accepted you and that you know have your back 100%.
Exactly.
Like, I think the most important is the fact that your immediate family supports you and you know that.
Yeah. And I think that was on top of my list. I was like, I have to tell people who I know for sure will have my back no matter what.
Yeah.
And I told those people. And it just happened to be one side of the family more than the other.
Yeah. And that's completely fine. That was your choice. And, like, you have no obligations on telling the other part of the family if you don't want to.
What's funny, though, is my cousins know more than my aunts and uncles.
Well, yeah, but, like, I think they've all...
But I think they also all know because of social media.
Well, social media, but, like, when we grew up, I mean, like you said, like, people assumed.
Yeah.
And then we were just waiting for a confirmation.
Yeah.
But, again, I mean, you didn't have to confirm to them directly that you were gay.
Yeah.
So, like, through social media, you have confirmed you are gay. And, like, they know that.
It's also the fact that, like, if that certain side of the family wants to ask me personally, be like, hey, are you? Like, whatever, I'm going to say it to their face, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be the one to bring up the topic.
Yeah. And that's totally your choice.
Because I don't feel comfortable with it.
Yeah. And that's your choice.
Yeah.
So we kind of touched on how you came out to everyone. how you came out to me and the family.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else about coming out that you think is important that someone in that process should know to end this episode?
I think the most powerful and impactful thing I could say is go at your pace. Don't feel rushed. I know folks who were rushed and said it, and it came out the way they didn't want it to come out. Mm-hmm. And then I also know people who waited and took the time to prepare themselves, because it is so much different knowing yourself and then saying it out loud to your loved ones. And I also know folks who are terrified to come out.
Yeah.
And I think as time goes on, you're going to realize that there will be a safe place, a safe time for you to do it. And if right now is not it, then it's not it. Mm-hmm. Like, unless you fully want to come out and you're so happy and you're so proud and content with it, then be my guest. Like, that's the perfect time for you.
Yeah.
But don't rush it. Know that there is going to be a time for you. Know that there's tons of personal growth that has to happen before you even say that. Like, do you yourself feel content that you're gay? Mm-hmm. Do you accept yourself? If you don't accept yourself, then how do you expect others to accept you? Mm-hmm. If you don't even know yourself. Mm-hmm. So, I think there's a lot of self-reflection that needs to be done before you do it. Mm-hmm. And only, like G said, only tell those that you trust, that you love, and try not to put yourself in situations where you're going to get negative feedback right then and there, because that can be so damaging, because I know there's so much hard work and stuff that goes into it to hype yourself up, to get yourself ready, and then to tell people or to tell someone and get shut down immediately, it makes you not want to come out ever again, or to talk about it, or to tell anyone. Like, it's really damaging. So choose wisely who you come out with. And I know you can't choose your family, you can't choose your family members, you can't make them accept you, and that just goes all in self-reflection. You have to understand what may happen, what could happen if you do come out, but I don't think it should stop you or prevent you from coming out.
Well, I can't add anything. I mean, I think I like the point where it's like, it's your journey. Yeah. And no one is going to rush you in that journey except yourself. And you need to be okay with, intentionally looking inward and being okay with yourself before anything else. Because you are the only person that is going to, know the ins and outs, obviously, of your life. You're not going to be able to, you need to protect yourself before having to tell others, because you don't have to tell, or two, you just need to be aware of what the outside could say, and you just need to be strong enough to, you can take in what people say, or you can just not give a flying fuck. Yeah. I feel like I'm more that type of person, that it's just like, this is my life, this affects me. It doesn't affect you, so you can fuck right off. Yeah. If it bothers you, great. I'm not coming around. I'm not going to be in your area trying to push it all on you. Like, that's not for me to do. And it's also not someone I would want to be around. If you can't accept me, I don't want to be near you. And it doesn't matter if you're friends, family, I don't know what else you could be, but if you don't accept me, I'm not going to be there. Yeah. And that's, I think, just on the end note of protecting yourself. Yeah. And put yourself first. Yeah. It doesn't matter what other people think, say, or do. Like you said multiple times in this video, like, it's your journey. You decide what happens. And you should try not to have regrets, especially with coming out, because it is a big thing. It is going to be a part of you for the rest of your life, and you want positivity around it. There's already so much negativity about the queer community,
just in general with the world today.
Yeah.
So to try to keep that little bit of positivity within yourself, your family, your friendships, your relationships, that's what's really important.
Okay. Well, I think you said that perfectly, and I know that was a common...
Was that good? Because I just blanked out. I could not recite what I just said to you.
I think it was good. So that is the end of this episode. I know that was a very common question and topic that many of our viewers wanted to hear, and kind of know like the backstory of like May.
Yeah, I don't really talk about my personal life, and there's so many reasons for that. Let us know if you want to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I know I've had more relationships in the past recently, but you also, when it comes time, I don't think you're going to be talking much about your personal life either, a ton. Mm-hmm. Because there are some creepy people out here.
Yeah.
And that can just be a whole different episode.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't really talk about my personal life unless asked or on lives. So I hope this was entertaining.
Yeah. Or just at least a little bit of knowledge
Insightful,
for somebody who is going through the process, or who has already gone through the process and has either like connected to this story or wish they have done something different. It's just a different insight on how people come out. And again, this is just your story. It's not the same as others. And, you know, there are different ways to come out. Yeah. There's not like one right way.
Yeah, there's not one right way to come out for sure. Like, every person coming out, it's going to be different.
Yeah. Well, that is the end of this episode. We hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to subscribe and help spread the word. And like always, just not like always, this is not a YouTube video. Until next time, keep listening, keep loving, and keep embracing your journey.
And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.